Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unraveling a massive coordination failure that is happening literally right under our noses. It's this structural breakdown that most of us just never see, but it quietly impacts every single movie you stream and every song you loop. We're looking at a system that's absolutely bursting at the seams with data, yet somehow it's completely failing the very creators who fuel the whole shebang.
I mean, just look at this staggering figure. Billions of dollars. That's the current price tag of what's known as coordination debt in the entertainment economy. We're talking about huge, massive amounts of unclaimed residuals and royalties that are currently just lost, stuck in this permanent state of litigation and red tape. It isn't just some small accounting error. It's a system-wide failure where the money meant for artists and rights holders simply gets stuck in the plumbing.
So it naturally begs the question, right? Where does all that money actually go? How does all this wealth just kind of vanish into thin air between you streaming a track and the artist checking their bank account? It's a high-stakes mystery playing out every single day. And to solve it, we really need to look under the hood to see how this industry is actually wired.
Part 1. The Coordination Catastrophe.
To really grasp this catastrophe, we have to realize that this isn't, a room full of villains actively stealing pennies from creators. Actually, it's a massive failure of coordination, and this brilliantly illustrates the core of the problem. Think about just a single film. A movie isn't just one product, it's a tangled knot of hundreds of underlying rights. For one single project, you've got IP licenses, guild agreements, distribution contracts, music sync rights, and these incredibly complex international territorial arrangements. Trying to coordinate all these moving parts across different databases, spreadsheets, and legal teams, it's practically impossible to do efficiently.
And because of that sheer volume, the actual math of who gets paid what and when is just incredibly opaque. Then you throw in the global streaming boom, and suddenly royalty tracking turns into, well, the world's worst game of telephone. Streaming has massively increased content volume and global reach, which makes the underlying math almost impossible to follow for the average creator. The result? Rights holders routinely go unpaid for months, years, or honestly, even forever.
Part 2. Introducing the Entertainment WAO.
So what exactly is it? We're talking about a wise autonomous organization, or WAO. It's basically an adaptive governance architecture built specifically to untangle this massive web of intellectual property. Think of the Entertainment WAO as a rights steward and a creative ecosystem governor. Functionally, it operates as a canonical rights registry, a real-time royalty engine, and a governance layer for creative collaboration. It takes all those old, paper-based, fragmented rules of ownership and just makes them completely programmable.
Let's break down how this actually works in practice. When tracking IP inside the WAO, every single piece of intellectual property registered gets instantly tagged with its entire verifiable financial DNA. So step 1, the system tags the exact ownership structure. Step 2, it encodes all the licensing and territorial rights directly into the asset's software representation. And step 3, it maps out the revenue waterfall. Basically, the asset becomes self-describing. It knows exactly who owns it and exactly how they should be paid.
Part 3. The AI Agent Roster. To manage all this programmable data, the WAO uses a specialized task force of autonomous AI agents that execute logic at machine speed. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how each agent has a highly specific job. They act together like an elite crew fixing the industry. The rights registry agent verifies and maintains the canonical record of who owns what. Then you've got the royalty distribution agent, which calculates and executes revenue splits the exact moment a consumption event happens. And incredibly importantly, the clearance acceleration agent determines if a proposed use of content is cleared under existing licenses or if it needs new negotiation. That speeds up permissions dramatically.
And beyond that core crew, there are these crucial supporting roles that maintain the health of the whole ecosystem. The talent contract agent tracks guild minimums, residual schedules, and back-end terms, instantly flagging any compliance failures before they escalate into formal grievances. Meanwhile, the Piracy Sentinel agent monitors distribution channels for unauthorized use, but, and here is the brilliant shift from defense to offense, it doesn't just issue automated takedowns. It can actually initiate automated licensing offers right on the spot. It literally turns piracy into a brand new revenue opportunity.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Part 4. Retiring the Royalty Dark Age.
This is where the real paradigm shift happens for the creators themselves. The contrast between the old analog world and this new WAO reality is truly night and day, directly addressing those missing billions we talked about at the very start.
Under the old system, creators face 12 to 18-month payment delays as just a standard practice. I mean, that's a year and a half of waiting for money you've already earned. So the crucial point is, under the WAO reality, payments are routed in real time, the exact moment consumption happens, whether it's a stream, a broadcast, a merchandise sale. The royalty agent does the math instantly, and the money flows to all rights holders simultaneously.
And it's not just about getting paid faster either. It's about being able to make art in the first place. The old clearance processes result in weeks, sometimes even months, of clearance paralysis. This administrative friction literally kills countless creative projects before they can even begin. But with the WAO's architecture, content permissions that used to take weeks are now cleared in minutes. It just completely unshackles the creative process.
But you might be wondering, who actually runs all this? The WAO is not just some runaway algorithm. It's governed by a multi-guild, multi-studio council. This includes artist representatives, independent creators, and distributor delegates. This governance structure is intentionally and structurally designed to prevent any single platform or massive studio from capturing the network and controlling the royalty logic to their own advantage. It genuinely balances the power across the entire ecosystem.
Which brings us to a really powerful quote directly from our source material that perfectly sums up the mission here. The Entertainment WAO retires the royalty dark age and ends the rights opacity that allows platforms and studios to underreport consumption without consequence. That is huge. It brings absolute, verifiable transparency to a historically opaque ecosystem. The rules are baked right into the asset, and the AI agents ensure they're followed completely impartially.
Which leaves us with this final thought for you to ponder. What would you create if you never had to worry about clearance paralysis or delayed royalties again? Just imagine the absolute explosion of creative potential when the administrative friction of the entertainment industry simply falls away. The technology is here, the blueprints are drawn, and the future of creative coordination is autonomous, transparent, and absolutely fair. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this sparks some new ideas for you. See you next time!